Hello crafters and welcome to P2PCrafts Online, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art, papercrafts and art journaling community. Now I'm your host Michelle Brown, Creative Director of From Picture to Page, and I'm so looking forward to our session today. Now, P2PCrafts Online has had over 30 demonstrations with our local retailers and some very special guest artists. So for all the details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can see the full 3-day program, get all the updates and get all the links so you can go and support our retailers and our guests. And of course, supporting them doesn't just have to be buying from them. It could also be liking their pages, commenting on their content and their videos, and just generally sharing the crafty love. Now, while you're over on the website, make sure you're on our email list so we can give you all the updates straight into your inbox, as well as the replays as they'll be released over the next week or so. Now, we're really happy to welcome our sponsors. We've got Darkroom Doors, who provide a wonderful range of unique red rubber stamps and stencils and continue to support independent retailers as long with crafters through their internet videos. And also we've got Uniquely Creative, who are really passionate about making beautiful stamps, dies and embellishments, and they also have their monthly creative kit club, so you get everything that you need as well with instructions to make beautiful creations. Now, whether you're watching here live on Facebook or you're watching a replay on Facebook or YouTube, we would love to know that you're there. So pop in the comments, just like Marion and Mara and Marilyn have, and we will do our very best to answer any questions and say hi in return. So today we are really excited to have P2PCrafts Online with Niamh Baly. Hi, Niamh.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
We're going well. How's things in Tasmania?
Oh, beautiful. It's actually beautiful spring weather at the moment. Tulips are blossoming. It's just fabulous.
Oh, lovely. And there's something about spring that just seems to bring out my creativity.
Yeah, that's it. And all the gorgeous colours. So
excellent. And so what have you been creating lately?
Well, I've had 2 weeks school holidays, so I should have been doing schoolwork, but I have been playing in my journals flat out. I have been recording a whole heap of online classes. I've got one that was all on interactive paper cutting pages, which is all pre-recorded rather than a live session. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to wait to take that. You can just dive straight into it. So that was really fun. And, yeah, just having lots of fun playing my journals and playing with my kids.
Oh, good. Anything new and fun you've been playing with lately?
No, just lots of paints and just lots of paint. I was playing last night with the embossing glazes, so I had fun doing that and doing my front cover of my journal. So lots of texture in that, which is fun.
Excellent. We'll have to look out for that video. That sounds like lots of fun. And a good spring project so that it dries faster.
Well, that's true. Yes.
Excellent. So what have you got to show us today, Niamh?
Well, today I kind of combining two things in one because I'm prepping you up for tomorrow's session.
Ooh, okay.
But one of my major things and things I get asked about a lot is what colours do you use on projects? Mm-hmm. So I'm actually going to show you how to basically have a foolproof way of getting some background colours down your page, and I'm going to show you really my version of swatching, which isn't usual people's version of swatching. So you can use it in an art journal page, you can use it as cut it up and use it as cards, do whatever you want with it, or you could actually swatch properly if you fancy doing that.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, well, it's good to have a range of options available to us.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you get set up and then we'll jump right in.
Not a problem.
Excellent. So it is really good to have a really basic understanding of colour theory, and it is also a good idea, as we keep talking about, to get to know your products and doing the swatches. So whether it's sort of the traditional method or whether it's more the Niamh method, let's dive in and find out. Okay, Niamh, take it away.
Okay, so I've got a really basic colour wheel here. Obviously, you can get colour wheels from everywhere, but I suggest going for a really simple 12-step colour wheel just to get your head around it. Most people understand that when we talk about warm colours, we're talking about sort of your reds, oranges and yellows. And when we talk about cools, we're talking about our blues and greens. Purples are a really tricky colour because you can have your red purples and your blue purples. So if you're really unsure about your purples, leave them off. But you can kind of work out if they're more towards the violet range, they sort of fit in the reddy tones. And if they're more indigo-ish, they go into the blue tones. So if you understand about warm colours and cool colours, that gives you a really basic understanding of analogous colours, which is what Natalie May was talking about yesterday when she was talking about next door neighbour colours. So analogous colours are colours that actually sit next to each other on the colour wheel. So yellow, yellow, orange, and orange are analogous colours. The closer they are on the colour wheel, the better they're going to blend together. So if I tried to blend the yellow and the red, for example, they'll obviously blend together and make an orange. But if I start to blend the yellow and the purple together, I'm going to go towards a more brownish tone. Same on this side. If I go for a really yellowy green and try and blend it with a purple, I'm going to get that sort of brownish tone. So we want to choose wedges of the pie that sit next to each other. So these three colours blended together in a background are going to look beautiful together. These three colours are going to look really great together. These colours are going to look really great together. These colours are going to look really great together. And it's all about kind of knowing where they sit on the colour wheel. So having something really simple, you can get something like this off the internet. This is actually on Primary School Teacher. This is off a primary school teaching website, but you can find them really simply. You can obviously find the big round ones, but sometimes there's so much information on those, they get really, really complicated. So make it as easy as possible for yourself. And obviously you could paint one yourself as well. I know there's lots of stencils around that you can, stencil out and paint it in. For those people who do follow me on YouTube, I'm a bit of a Dina Wakley fanatic. But one of the things I love about her is she's very down to earth, but she's also got this fabulous document on the Ranger website, and I'll leave a link in the comments below, to this colour confidence. And the reason I really like it is, she goes through, and I've lost the first page, she does a colour wheel of her paints, but it's kind of simplified like this, so it gives you a really good idea of, what colours go together. But within it, she talks about analogous colours. So if you are not sure what analogous colours are or what colours to use, you could go here and go, okay, right, this purple, the blue, the ocean, the sky, turquoisey colour, they're all going to blend together really nicely. So it takes the thinking out of it. And once you've got a few of your favourite colour combinations under your belt, it's something you can go back to and refer to lots and lots and lots. So you can see lots of different versions of this. We're actually going to be looking at this range though, which is analogous colours, so colours that sit together on the colour wheel with a complement. Now the complement is the colour that's opposite on the colour wheel. So for this one over here, it's looking at this wedge of the pie, so these three colours sitting together, and the near opposite colour of that is this purpley colour down here. The reason that you would use an opposite with it is that's what's going to give it the punch of colour at the end, to make it really pop out and be a focal point. We're not going to use much of the complementary colour, but it is going to really draw your eye on the page. So that's a really, really, really quick colour theory session, but hopefully it gives you a bit of understanding of where we're going with this today. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to fire them at me. So we're not going to be doing all this today, but this is what we're going to be creating, or something similar. And you can see on here that I've got lots of different colour combinations on here that I can go back to refer to and go, oh yeah, I really like this, I'm going to use that in the background, or oh, I really fancy this colour combination today, I'm going to use this. So this is kind of my version of swatching. I haven't written the colours out on this because I know these colours like the back of my hand, but I probably would suggest either on a post-it note, if you don't want to write it on the piece of paper you're doing it on today, or on the back of the page, write down the colours that you use, just so you know when you go back and you can refer to them. So today I'm going to be using the Dina Wakley paints because that's what I've got sitting next to me. You can see them all sitting here. But again, any acrylic paints will work for this. So I'm just starting off in my journal. And again, if you've got a blank piece of paper, a cardboard, or watercolour paper, you can do this too. I have gessoed this beforehand. It's not completely necessary, but it's going to help the paint move a little bit more on the page. So I'm just going to quickly divide off my page. And again, you don't have to do this. You could just do one big page. I'm just going to do 4 quick little ones just so you can see what we're doing. One thing I do like to do with this is have a little bit of black on my page to begin with, because that gives a real contrast to my colours. It shows me how everything sort of blends together. I'm just using some black gesso, not really thinking about it. And one of the things that makes this really, really quick for me is I use the same composition on each of my pieces. So I know exactly what I'm doing each time. I don't need to think about it. So I'm not really thinking about where I'm putting the black. I just know I sort of want 3 little triangle-y shapes on my page somewhere. This is black gesso. It's going to dry pretty quickly. If you've only got black paint, do that. You don't necessarily have to have the black on there at all. I just like the little bit of contrast that it gives. So because I'm impatient and I know I don't have much time, I'm going to get my heat gun out. Who's kidding? I always have my heat gun out when it comes to my paints. For those people who've done my Faces in Your Art Journal online course, this is one of the warm-up exercises we did in the class. So I really apologise that it might seem repetitive to you, but it's a really important thing to know for how to do any colour choosing, because even if you're a scrapbooker, knowing what colours go together and what's going to work together and blend together nicely is a really important skill to have. So once I've got my colours out, I'm going to choose some colours. So the first group of colours I'm going to choose, and I do apologise, but just for time I've already pre-chosen some colours, is these colours. Now, these are not colours I use very often at all. So yellows, oranges, and I've put in a pale as well. It's always good to have a light colour to blend in with, or a pastel to mix them together. Hi, Fiona. You've seen this before too. Meryl, my heat gun is covered with alcohol inks. On my YouTube, I do have a video up of how I did that. So all I'm going to do is just put out some bits of colour. And again, because I like 3s and because I don't particularly want to think about this very much, I'm just going to put down a tiny, tiny little bit of paint. You really don't need all that much, okay? A little is going to go a long way. Now, my other secret to this is, oh, don't put out too much paint. When I'm mixing these colours together, I don't clean my brush. So I'm just going to use my brush. It's a fairly dry, it's a damp brush, sorry, but it's pretty dry. And I'm just going to brush out my paint. And I'm going to take some of these colours and I'm going to mix them together. You can see I'm sort of painting over the black as well. That's okay. So you can see I've got all those tones now of yellows and oranges mixed together really, really quickly. I haven't made any browns. I've just got some pretty combinations of colour. I got rid of a lot of my yellow, so I can go back and add a little bit more in if I want some pure yellow over the top. And you can just play, which is the great thing. So it's a great way to get to know your paints and how they work together. You can see adding in some of the lighter tones as well. And because I've got some paint on my paintbrush, it just blends it together beautifully. So the aim, I suppose, isn't to blend everything together. I know I keep saying blend, but you do want to see the different different colours and how they mix together, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to leave that there for a second. It's not quite finished yet, so don't panic. And obviously I am doing this super, super quick. You guys do not need to do this quick. This is one of the prettiest combinations, and it's, again, not a combination I would ever have used until I actually did this method. So this is using cheddar, which is sort of a warm orange, eggplant, which is a warm purple, Sedona, which is a warm red, and sand, which is kind of a beigey colour. So again, you can kind of see how they kind of sit together on the colour wheel. So again, you only want little bits of paint. This time I'm not going to put all my paint out at once. I'm actually just going to be patient and do it a bit at a time. Oops, okay, this one. So again, I haven't washed out my brush because I want to mix my colours together. I want them to blend into each other. If I added extra water to this, it's just going to make it really wet, which I don't particularly want. The tray holding my paints is a tray from Art Bin. I know Bev's Crosscraft have them in stock at the moment. I think it's to hold alcohol inks, but it fits the Dina, kind of fits the Dina paints okay. And yeah, it's really handy just having my paints right next to me when I work. So again, you can sort of see that warm, all those warm colours, and it's not necessarily a combination I would have used myself before, but once I used it, it's like, oh, I love this. Okay. So I haven't used any of my light colour in this. I am going to clean my brush because I've put out a little bit too much paint. Sorry, I keep saying The other thing that you can do, which I do quite regularly, which is a really lovely way to blend your colours, is just use your finger. Just gives you a little bit more of a softer go. There you go. I'm just going to dry this off before I start the next one.
And Niamh, that maroon and orange is a really effective colour combination, isn't it?
It is. It's really, really warm. So I'm going to show you a finished page using this colour combination in the background so you can kind of see it in real life, so to speak. But yeah, it's just by doing it this way, you just get some really interesting blends that aren't necessarily all perfect. But remembering, for a lot of stuff we do in art journaling, this is the background. It's supposed to look a little bit messy and ugly because we haven't finished it yet. We haven't put the focal stuff on it yet. So I know a lot of people sort of look at it and go, ooh, that looks really messy, but it's supposed to at this stage. So another combination of, this is a new one for me. I haven't actually tried this one before. So this is Blackberry, which is a cool purple, Night, which is a really dark blue, Heather, which is a pale purple, and Lapis, which is a really sort of rich royal blue. There's no real rhyme or reason to how I'm putting down the paint or what colour I'm putting down first, just kind of what I prefer. Oh, I like how those two mix together. So you get discoveries on the way. It's great. They're really pretty. So you can't really see that on screen all that well, which is unfortunate because they're just really, they blend in together beautifully. They've got nice tone to them. Oh, same with that purple. Okay, I've just found a new perfect combination. Just watch from my art journal pages. You're going to see a lot of this one in the future.
Well, it's always good to have an art discovery.
It's nice when it happens on screen.
And it's nice to know it doesn't matter how long you've been art journaling, you can still surprise yourself every now and then.
Well, that's it, which is what I love about art journaling. You can have some days and everything's a bit, and you can have some days it's like, wow, I love that. There you go. Look at that. Kind of looks like a galaxy. So if anyone wants that one at home, that was Blackberry, Heather, Lapis, and Night. So obviously those are the Dina Wakley names. If you've got your own range of colours, use those. The last one I'm going to do really quickly is some green. So you've sort of got a bit of a combination. So this one's using an olive, evergreen, lime, and again a light, I was going to say light blue colour, a light greenish colour. Probably just worked out the size of the brush I'm using is a bit too big, but there you go. So, yes, I would suggest for those people who are working at home, or if you're going to do this, take some time with it. Don't rush like I'm doing. But then sometimes if you do it fast, which is what I find as well, you don't overthink it, you just do it. So there's a benefit sometimes. Again, I'm not being very careful with my blacks. I'm painting over them. That's okay because I'm going to come back to them and do something over the top of them at the end. Oops. Everyone's got their own favourite colour combinations going on, I can see on screen.
And isn't it great that we all have different favourite colours?
Yeah. I can't help myself. I have to get my fingers in there and move it around. Okay, so that's really, really quick. But, you know, you get a really cool looking page. Or you could do this, like you could do a big one and cut it up and make card fronts. You could do a little sampler like this and cut it up into card fronts. Or put it into your art journal page, or do a big one. You know, just play. Oops. It's always the way when you put a clip on your page. So why I usually avoid using them. Oh, look at that. Makes all the difference putting that second layer over the top of a different colour. Okay. So that's our analogous colours. So that's the basic, just analogous colours in the fact that they sit together on the colour wheel. What we're going to do now, though, to make them really pop is to put the opposite colours on next to them. But before I do that, I'm just going to put some detail into those black bits to finish them off. Now, in my original, you can do all sorts of different patterns in them. You could do circles, you could do little swirly things, you can do line patterns, all sorts of things. I'm just going to go for scribbled writing because it's quick and it's easy and I don't have to think about it too much. But again, go with what you like. So I'm just using a white paint pen and I'm going to write about having fun painting with you guys today.
And scribbly writing is really a fun, effective way to cover an area really quickly.
It is. Now, one of the things, if you are doing this or with any pattern or mark making, we'll talk about this more in our class tomorrow, is it's really important that you overlap. So while I'm working sort of in the black areas, I'm actually going out over the top of it. to blend it all in together, so it doesn't look like I'm just staying within the lines. And it's one of my pet peeves about schools and teaching, that we teach kids, or, you know, at home, stay within the lines, because sometimes it looks more artistic if you stay outside the lines, or you know, don't make it a nice straight line. So I still try with my kids at home to restrain myself and going, an artistic choice.
You must be the funnest teacher ever.
I try to be, but yeah. We do a lot of work at school too.
Oh, I'm sure you do, but work can be fun.
Yeah, that's it. Someone actually asked me on my YouTube channel today, what do you actually write when you scribble? I am actually writing stuff, but it's so together and all over the place that you can't read it again. It's just, you know, here I am drawing and painting and having fun and mixing colours together type stuff. Okay, so one of the reasons that I put black and white in my page is because black and whites are always a great contrast on a page, and you can see already just having that white does something to that page, and having the black underneath it helps boost the colour of the white. So a bit of a pop quiz for you all. I'll bring back the colour chart. If I was going to choose some paint pens and I want an opposite colour, what colour do you think I should use for the yellowy orange one? Remember, we're looking for what's across from it.
Oh, so pop your answers into the comments. Who is paying attention? Everyone's asleep. We've worn them out.
We've worn them out. Okay. Purples, yeah, definitely. So I could try purple. Okay, so I'm going to try purple on this one. So purple or blue would work really well, these two colours. Have a think about these colours too, because I'm going to be coming back to you to ask you what I'm going to use as my opposite over here. Okay, so I've got these two purpley blue colours which fit kind of across the page from over here. So you can see already how that they would pop up on this page. So I'll do some blue and some purple on here, and again, just going to do some really quick lines, and I'm not thinking too much about this. And again, I've kind of got an idea, because I've done these a few times, of where I want to put my marks, but you can sort of see I'm doing it in rows of 3 again, because that's what I like to do. And I don't have to think about it. If I do things in 3s, 1, it gives a really nice visual triangle, but 2, I've sort of just got this rule. If I've got it in 3 places on my page, it's all good. So you can see how that blue immediately popped up, okay, from the page. So I'm going to try the purple as well, because the first person who jumped on said purple. I'm just going to put some more mark making on here using the purple. Now you could just choose one colour to do this, but I just want to show you 2 different complementary colours on here, so you can decide which one you like best. When I look at that, I think the blue pops a little bit more than the purple, but that's just me. If you didn't have paint pens, by the way, you could just use acrylic paint. So I just find paint pens really, really handy. So I noticed someone said with the greens one to use the reds. So I'll grab a red out. And I'm just going to do exactly the same. So this is where you sort of, again, knowing your colour wheels is really important, and just having a go, because by doing those 2 colours on there, I know now which one I like better on that page. So when I do it again in the future, well, I know which paint pen I'm going to pick up if I'm going to do some detailing around something, or if I want to put a quote on the page that I want to make sure is going to stand out. So, or if I had, you know, yellowy orange scrapbooking papers, well, if I use a blue to put a border around, that's going to help pop out. So while we're doing this in a night journal, don't think it's not important or you can't use it in other scrapbooking or mixed media types of things, because this information is going to be important whenever you use it. So you can see the red sort of really stands out on that page too. Okay, so down to our bluey purple colours. What do we think we should go for? Any ideas?
Now, I'd be thinking orange, but I'd be worried that the orange wouldn't come up too good on the purple.
Oh, well, let's try it out and find out.
Too good.
Hi,
That
Dolly,
wasn't good English. Very clearly.
Okay, so there you go.
Ooh. Ooh, Debbie suggested lime. That's a nice idea too.
Ooh, yeah. We could put some lime on here.
And Shell says orange mustard. There's always someone that has a technical name, isn't there? That's great.
The good thing about the paint pens is they are quite opaque, so they do sort of stand out over things, which is really, really good.
Mm.
So I'm going to try, someone suggested a lime just for something different.
Wow.
Kind of looks very Halloween-y, this one. Okay, so for the last one, this one's kind of a bit of a trickier one because it kind of spans a larger piece of the pie. So for that, I'm actually kind of going to go in the center, and I'm going to go for a sort of a turquoisey color, I think. I'm not sure if I want to use a lighter or a darker turquoisey color, so I'm going to use both.
When in doubt, use both.
Yep. Why do the red lines look thicker? Probably because I was pressing a little bit harder because it's nearly dead. There's always a technical reason to why something does it. So yes, it's a well-used pen, and the point isn't quite as pointy as it used to be. So I'm just using the same colour pen, but again, you could use the really fine pens to do this sort of stuff. And obviously, I'm doing sort of really quick mark making, so this could be finished. You could do all sorts of marks. It doesn't need to be little lines and scribbles and so on. You could do anything you wanted on this page. Googling Posca now. Yeah. Sorry, they're amazing.
And I think, Niamh, you're saying you need to get which kind of Posca pen?
Oh, I would, for the fine pen, I would highly suggest getting the PC1M, which is the bullet point. Don't get the pin type. The reason I don't do pin type with them is anything you're using gets plugged under the metal and it kills the pen. So one of the reasons a lot of people had problems with the Dai ones, because they were all pin type pens, and with mixed media it's not brilliant. So I'd highly suggest getting the bullet tip ones because it's got a really fine, you can do really fine lines with it even though it is a bullet tip.
Yes, mixed media can be very hard on your pens, particularly if you don't let paint dry underneath it.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's amazing.
Really but you can see, like, in half an hour we've done this. Obviously I've practiced doing this a few times, so you don't have to work this fast. But once you know the combinations, or you know, oh, this slice of the pie is going to work together, or this slice of the pie is going to work together, you can explore and push yourself to use combinations you wouldn't normally use, but do it with confidence. So I am not a yellowy orange person, but once I started playing with those colours, because I knew they'd all go together, it's like, oh, well, I could actually use that in the future. So just to show you this on a big scale, here's a page I did a few days ago, using that combination down in the corner. You can see I've kind of used the same format, but I've used the lime on it instead of the turquoise, so you can see a different color combination on it. So I've sort of gone from this way rather than over there. This is a rice paper image from Stamperia that I've just glued over the top.
Oh, it's lovely.
So it doesn't have to be a little sampler like this. You can actually incorporate it into other pages. I suppose a bit of a sneak peek of what we'll be doing tomorrow type thing. But you can see in the backgrounds as well, I've used those analogous colours, and I've used the colours over the top to give the focus. So your homework tonight, if you choose to do it, is find a colour combination you really love as your background, because that's going to be your background that we can work on tomorrow for our next job that we're going to be doing.
Oh, excellent. That's fantastic. Okay, well, let's get your camera turned around.
Okay.
And wasn't that lovely? And I can see that we've even still got people. We've got Susan here from San Francisco. She's now at 11:30 and not in bed yet. So thank you so much for your ongoing support, because we did start rather early this morning with Eileen Hull, which, my goodness, that seems like a long time ago. So Niamh, thank you so much for that beautiful journaling. I think that really is a nice way to give people confidence by doing some practice and building up those colours.
Yeah, definitely. And it is, the more you practice, the more comfortable you're going to get. So, and it's, at the end of the day, it's just paper. So if you hate it, you don't need to show it to anyone. You can repaint over it or cut it up into smaller bits, and it's all good.
Yeah, excellent. It is funny how we get so scared about it, isn't it? Instead of just trying to let that go and just get on with the art.
Well, colour is such a personal thing too, and people have very strong feelings about it. So it is, it's important. While we always go for our normal colours, it's important to try some different things, because you may fall in love with them.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, Niamh, thank you so much for coming and sharing your art journaling with us today.
You are very, very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Excellent.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow. Thanks, Niamh.
Bye.
Excellent. So I hope you did get some ideas. And if you do want to take on Niamh's challenge, like I said, choose one of those combinations. I actually love the idea of choosing the 4 paints. That's certainly given me something to think about. And then Niamh will be back tomorrow. And of course, continue to pop your comments into the comments box. Any questions for Niamh, she'll be there to answer them. And of course, give us a like, thumbs up, share us with your crafty friends. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon on P2PCrafts Online. So this is Michelle signing off. I hope you have a crafty day.